Good morning, everybody. I'm delighted to introduce you to Paul Croteau. Many of you would recognise him from various longevity event groups. He's also always introducing some fantastic speakers, but he's an absolute rock star in his own right. And I met Paul and his lovely wife last year at a brunch, and I sat next to her. She's the person I speak of often with her story about her back and how she basically rebuilt her back. And she's the one that basically said, no, you need to be taking 16 glucogel a day. And I came home from that lunch feeling a whole lot better about what I was doing and where to go and to have a direction. You also created with Cheryl Morley the health evaluation survey, which I personally use as a tool, and so do many people in our team. So the purpose of this call is that we wanted you to share with us the effective way to read the results of these calls, of these surveys, and how best to move people forward. I love your philosophy around this, in that people need to trust you, and sometimes they don't have hundreds and hundreds of dollars. It can be overwhelming when they're facing 17 products or whatever. So, and I love your program of what we call a wish list call, or basically just the touch. Let me go through. Let's make a call and go through this health evaluation survey together and work out what best suits you. So that's why you're on this call. You're going to be shared throughout the whole of Australia, and so that you can we can share this, because it's a really effective tool. Because I don't know a lot about all the nutritionals, but I do know that survey gets results. And so over to you, Paul.
Excellent. Well, thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be on this call. And Jeanette, first of all, I want to say that your product line is, for those who don't know Jeanette, she's got the Nature Direct line, the cleaning products. And for a guy to say these are the best cleaning products I've ever used in my life is a big statement, because most guys hate cleaning, and that's not my favorite thing to do in the world. But I absolutely fell in love with it's a guy thing, how simple it is to use. You just measure it out, a couple tablespoons in the bottle, put the water in, and I have this whole cleaning kit that I've made, and I can, depending on what I need to do, if I need to do a spray and wipe, it's listed. If I'm going to go clean my windows, it's a glass cleaner. I mean, it's really well labeled for a guy. Even a guy like me can figure out the extra strength cleaner can clean extra strength problems. So I've been in the health and wellness industry now for 25 years, and I can honestly say this is the best cleaning line I've ever used in my life. And I love the cloths. I just cleaned off my screen before I got on here today. So I love all the different cloths and everything about it. And then, we're having a whole movement here at Longevity about creating this healthy lifestyle. And there's so many parts to a healthy lifestyle, as we're going to go over on this call here today. It's not just one thing. If we could just say, just do this, we would get on here and tell you that and be off in 30 seconds. It's just not that simple. So there's a lot of moving pieces and a lot of things that can take into consideration to become healthy. And yeah, I'm excited to go through that here on the call. And I guess we'll just jump right into it. I know we got Roberta on the call too, in Australia, and I'm like in awe just to be in her presence, because she's like an Instagram superstar with all her different pictures and things. I'm always liking everything that you post. It's awesome, and you're really an ambassador for the company. I just love you and all that you do, and the energy you have is just phenomenal. So thank you for your leadership, and I'm excited to be here with both of you and to explain a little bit about my background and how the health evaluation system came up, how I use it, and the scoring part of it, I think, is where some of the confusions come in recently with that. So first of all, I do have a master's degree in nutrition. So I've spent my mother was in nutrition, and I was intrigued by vitamins and minerals in the body and health. And so I not only got a master's degree in health and wellness, in nutrition, but I also have a master's degree in exercise physiology. So I love the exercise part of it. I love the whole health and wellness concept. I just love that phrase and really have embraced it in my own life. So I'm not just, talking the talk, I really walk the walk. I mean, if I went through my daily schedule with you, it's very regimented, and I have time where I'm meditating and using my cleaning products and my essential oils and my diffuser, using all the products here, and exercising, taking care of myself in every way possible. So it's a full program that we like to put people on. But I know one of the favorite phrases that we like to use here is meeting people where they are. Maybe they're not ready to become a health freak, like I am. And I know, Roberta, you're out there riding your bike and doing you use all the products here. Some people are not ready to go all in on day one, and you got to expect that they're not going to be ready to go all in. I wasn't ready at all on day one. They told me I was 200 pounds and I needed to buy 2 healthy body packs, and they were, $125 a piece. And I was like, wow, there's just no way I'm going to spend $250 on health products. I mean, this company must be crazy. But now, between me and my wife, we spend $1,000 a month on products. So we buy a lot of things, and I've never thought we'd get to this point, but I started using this and then that and then that, and it just keeps on getting better and better and better. And we keep on getting healthier, and we're sharing things with people. So, taking care of yourself is really where it starts. But let's jump ahead. I've just been blessed in life. I met Dr. Walt in 1995, heard his Dead Doctors Don't Lie recording, and I was getting my master's degree in nutrition, and I just was like, this is the greatest recording of all time. And it is. If you take all the recordings ever done on health and wellness, it doesn't equal what Dead Doctors Don't Lie is. It's the ultimate message of health and wellness. So, I've been using that forever, for, like I said, about 25 years now. And it's changed my life. It's changed the lives of literally hundreds of thousands of people. So it's my passion. And I know God put me on this earth to share this message with people. And I would not only just give people the recordings of Dead Doctors Don't Lie, but I would invite people to go see Dr. Walt live. And, there's hundreds, if not thousands of people. We've had meetings of over 2,000 people with Dr. Walt. So, it's a big to do to see Dr. Walt live. And he would do his whole Dead Doctors Don't Lie speech in front of people. And then at the end, he would ask questions, have a questions and answer period where you could raise your hand and say, Doc, I got this problem. What should I do with it? I don't want to take drugs. I don't want to do surgery. I just want to fix this problem naturally. And the thing I love about Dr. Walt the most is that he looks for the root cause of the problem. We could rub some cream on it or take some ibuprofen or something and mask the symptoms so you don't have that pain or discomfort or something anymore. But we want to find out what's the root cause of the problem. Like people say, oh, I'm tired. Well, it's not because you're lacking caffeine in your system that you're tired. Yes, drinking coffee will make you have more energy, but it's not fixing the reason why you're tired in the first place. So Dr. Walt gets to the root cause of things. And, there's 90 essential nutrients that you have to have every single day. So every man, woman, and child has to have these 90 essential nutrients. Your body does not make them. So Dr. Walt's whole message is that the soil just doesn't contain these nutrients at all, so we got to get them from supplements. And most of the world has figured this out. Yeah, I need supplements. They just are getting it from the wrong company. So Dr. Walt, someone would raise their hand at the end of the seminar and they'd say, hey, Doc, I got high blood pressure. What do I need how do I fix that? So he would say, does your knee hurt? And I was like, what in the world? Like, why would he ask that stupid question? And then he would ask another ridiculous question about, how, do you ever get any ear pain? I'm like, what does ear pain have to do with high blood pressure? And he would just go on. And so he was trying to connect the dots. He was like, like a Sherlock Holmes, looking for clues. And he'd look at their face and he'd see that there was some red on it or something. And, he'd put and then, he'd put the pieces together and then, oh, you're missing this nutrient. I mean, he would know which of the 90 nutrients they were missing by asking like 2 or 3 questions. I was like, that's unbelievable. How does he do that? So I'm intrigued now. So I get to travel with him, you know, and stay at hotels with him and have meals with him. So I'm like, hey, you got to tell me your secret. How do you do this? You know, how do you know which nutrient that they're missing? Or how to fix their problem by just asking them a couple off the wall questions. Well, they weren't off the wall. He was looking to see which category they fall into. What, you know, so is it kind of over here? Is it over there? Or where is it that this person's at? Because high blood pressure can be caused by, 3 or 4 different reasons. So he would narrow it down and then be like, oh, that's it. And so he was really quick on connecting dots. So what I wanted to do is sit down with them and really, and we spent days together. Like we spent, I think it was like 6 days where we like mapped out his brain. So the health evaluation system, and you can go to healthevaluationsystem.com to learn more about this system, but this is what this call is about here. We turned his brain into a computer system. So all the crazy questions that he asked during his seminar that he still does to this day, we wrote down into the health evaluation. So people go through the health evaluation and they answer these questions. And a lot of people say, this is stupid. Like what? Like, why would you ask me this? But trust me, there's a method to the madness here on everything. And by getting enough data on one topic, we know that, okay, this is the nutrient you're really missing. And then we test the other one out, so we test the different categories and see where is this problem really coming from, or what is the real problem. And you can't come up with a solution unless you know what the problem is. So I mean, here we're all in longevity, we're in sales, we're trying to impact people, we're trying to impact lives. And the way you impact lives is you find a problem and provide a solution. Well, the health evaluation system is the ultimate system in the world to find what the problem really is and pinpoint it. And then not just our own brains, but the computer goes through and I'm not going to say the computer is smarter than Dr. Walt, because Dr. Walt's brain is the system, but it really, I mean, we're human. So, and even Dr. Walt won't admit it, but he's human too. And, so this really, the system doesn't get tired or doesn't forget things or anything. It just is a computer and it's perfectly programmed. So it's a great representation of his 40 years of research right there in that questionnaire. Smack dab perfect. Yeah. Yeah. So we've turned Dr. Wallach into a computer system. So people, they answer the questions and then they get results. Here are your results. And what we've done recently is we've changed the scoring process. So what we did before is we had 0 was perfect health. So if you have 0, no problems, you have perfect health, which makes sense. Except people couldn't wrap their brains around it. Like they'd get a 43 and they're like, well, is that good or bad? Like, I'm not sure, because it's just weird. And then what would happen is we're having so much massive success with the system. It's crazy. And people were telling their friends and posting on Facebook and stuff and social media, hey, I've been with this company called Longevity. They're absolutely phenomenal. My health score has gone down 40 points with them. And then people are like, wow, I don't want to join that company or take those products because it sounds bad that your health is getting worse because you're taking these products. Right. You can't hear emotion when someone types it on Facebook or Twitter or something, Yeah. So I'm like, this has got to change. We got to make it so that 100 is perfect. Perfect score is 100. And then as you get bad things, get points against you, it lowers your score. So if you answered, you got 3 questions in category 2 or 2, so you got 2 points on this, 2 points on this, 2 points on that. So you lost 6 points. So you take 6 minus 100 and your score is 94. Okay, so how do I get 100? How do I make that better? Well, fix those problems so they're not 2s anymore, they're 0s. So if you get everything to 0, you're not losing any points. Therefore, you have a perfect score of 100. And now we can say, hey, I used to have this problem. I used to feel this way. And then I met Roberta, and she had me take this health evaluation. She's like, oh my God, I took this thing. You're gonna love it. If I send you a link, would you take the evaluation? It's free. Take it 10 minutes. They say, fine. Yeah, I'll absolutely take it. I'd love to see what my score is. So we're really promoting the concept, what is your health score? So we're making buttons and hats and t-shirts and everything. You know, that's our whole promotion is what is your health score? We got to find out what your health score is so we know where you're at and where you want to get to. So we changed it, the scoring so that 100 is perfect and people would take the test. And so what's happening now is people are getting, low scores. And now it makes sense to them because this is like school, where 90 to 100 is like an A. That's perfect.
It's more logical. It just makes more logical sense.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But it is
low equals ill health and high equals better health.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's kind of freaking some people out because it makes sense all of a sudden. Now, we've been doing this for over 3 years now, almost 4 years. And there's nothing that's changed except we just made one switch where 100 is perfect now, where it used to be horrible. Like you got 100 before and you were like really, really bad. And 0 is perfect. Now 0 is really bad and 100 is perfect. So we just switched the way we look at it is all we did. We didn't add any questions. We didn't change anything. As a matter of fact, if you got a 50 on the test before, you get a 50 on the test now, it's the same thing. I mean, a 50 is a 50. It's right in the middle, so absolutely nothing has changed if your score is 50.
Yes.
So it just, so anyways, but now people are like, oh, now this all of a sudden makes sense. And they're like, I got a 20, now they know what a 20 is. It's like super bad.
For a 9, which is what happened last night. And it's happened 3 times in the last week. They said, but I'm on longevity products. I'm taking this and this and this, and I exercise. And how come I'm only a 9? And how can I trust this result? Is there something wrong with it? They're the questions I'm getting.
Yeah. People will say, oh, the test is wrong. I'm like, well, did somebody like hijack the computer and fill it out for you? And they're like, no, I filled it out. I'm like, well, I'm not exactly sure how it could be wrong then. You're the one answering the questions and you put
Joanna's just jumped on the call, actually. Yeah, Joanna's jumped on the call to listen.
Good.
Because she's the person in question, but we've got customers who said the same thing. So just to go back, Joanna, I'm not sure if you can hear, because I know you are not on video. You've got pretty good kids getting them ready for school. We're talking about the score and what it means to get 9 or 10. So it brings it down to the 100 being the perfect score, and the numbers, if you get 6 points, then you're down to 94, and it keeps going down. So that's the nuts of what we're at right now. So go ahead, Paul.
Okay, great. So let's just say you get, so let's talk about each category. So there's 4 categories. There's hard tissue, soft tissue, blood sugar, and digestion. So we break down the human body. I'm just going to go ahead and mute the line for a moment here just so I can cut down the background noise. So we try to, we break it down, the human body, into 4 categories to kind of generalize where the problem's at. So let's just take category 1, which is hard tissue. So if you check off like 1 on this and 1 on this and 2 on that, no big deal. I mean, you got a little knee pain, or you got maybe a little ringing in the ears, or, something going on a little bit. Nothing terrible, and that's fine. That's going to keep you, it's normal, for that. We can do a little bit, maybe suggest some extra of this, or a little more glucogel, or a little more calcium or something, and get that to absolute 0. By the way, my health evaluation score is 98. So it can be done. And there's a lot of people who score in the high 90s. So it's not like it's like some reachable goal to have a score of 100. And I'm being real critical on myself. So I gave myself 2 points on something. But I mean, basically I'm 100. And a lot of people are. And so once you get, like 10 points in one category, that's where the double digits is where kind of like a red flag sort of goes up. It would be the same thing as Dr. Wallach asking you, do you have this? Do you have this? Do you have this? And it was yes, yes, yes. So now all of a sudden he's connecting some dots in his brain. He's like, oh, you got a calcium deficiency, or a magnesium deficiency, or, he just knows the mineral or the vitamin like that quick because of the few questions that he asked you. So, right around that 10 point is where I feel we're getting pretty certain. If you only got like 5 points in a category or, 6, 7, I'm not sure if you really got a problem there or not. It could be something else. But when you start getting 10, 15 points, 20 points is ridiculous. So you got 20 points in one category, there's like sirens going off. Now, we're not saying you're going to die or get a disease or anything like that. You may, and a lot of people say, I don't even feel that bad, because the problem with a lot of people is they don't know what optimal health feels like. You've had this problem for so long that you're just like, I'm used to it, or you just think this is the way it's going to be or the way it is. And that's not true. We can fix that. You don't need to live with that pain the rest of your life. People say, well, I don't have high blood pressure anymore. So we specifically asked, well, this was funny because we didn't originally ask this, but are you on blood pressure medication? Oh yeah, I've been on it for 20 years. Oh, well, no wonder your blood pressure is not high anymore, because you're taking some artificial drug to manipulate your body to make it look like you don't have a problem. Trust me, that problem is still there. And the problem didn't go away. We're just masking it. So, it's don't get me, I can go 6 hours just talking on big pharma and the problems with the drugs and the harm that they're all causing. But that's what we're here for. We're here to get people off those drugs and fix problems naturally. The root cause, why is this problem happening to you? And Dr. Wallach, his research over the past 40 years has proven that every single health problem can be traced back to a nutrient deficiency. So we know we can fix anything. It's just which nutrient are you deficient in, and figuring that out. So that's what the system does. And, and I know with this person's, there was one person we were talking about, and specifically they had 20s in all 4 categories. So when you see that, now a real red flag has got to go off in that, how could they have 20s in all the categories? And they've been taking the longevity products. I thought these products were supposed to work. So when you see all 4 categories at a high number like that, you instantly know that they have a digestion problem, because they're not absorbing. There's no way you can take these products, which I guarantee you are the highest potency products in the entire industry. I've been doing this for a long time. I could go to any company I want. My reputation, Paul Croto's reputation, is on the line, because when I say spend $50 or whatever it is, I have to produce results. So I am going to be with the product line that can produce the results. And I've tried all types of product lines out there, given products to people, tested them basically as guinea pigs, and they didn't get the results. So I got to go someplace else. And I every single product that we've recommended here at Longevity has produced results. So that's why I'm here. I mean, I could go, again, recommend any product line I want in the whole world. I'm a complete free agent and can do, recommend whatever I want. And I'm telling you, these absolutely work, all of them. So when you eat gluten, and Dr. Wallach talks about this all the time, gluten, the first few letters of gluten are glue. So the glue in gluten covers the villi in your intestines and literally makes it impossible to absorb anything. You got a covering on your intestines, and you can't absorb any of these nutrients that you're taking in. So we have a good food, bad food list posted on the 90 for Life part So there's an information part to the health evaluation system, and then there's the health evaluation part of the health evaluation system. So on the info part, and you can get a link to that from the person that you're working with, there's something called good food, bad food list. And it lists the foods that are good for you and the foods that you have to avoid. So I started out, you know, Dr. Walt said, you got to go gluten-free. I'm like, man, I'm Italian. You're going to tell me to go gluten-free. I live on pasta. I mean, that's my only food group that there is, you know. So he's like, no, you got to give it up. And I'm like, this guy's crazy. There's no way I'm giving up pasta. So it was a mindset, you know, that there's just no way I can do this. And then slowly but surely, I did it. I gave it up, you know, and I got super healthy, super fast. When you stop the bad stuff and start putting good stuff into your body, magic happens. It's that simple. I mean, it's not rocket science here. You stop doing the bad things. You're putting the bad thing. You got to look at your body as like a race car. You know, you put bad oil in it or bad gasoline, it's not going to run that well. So you got to stop the bad stuff. Stop putting that gook in and start putting some really high octane stuff in the form of nutrients, and magic happens. I mean, so we don't believe in fixing problems here at Longevity. We believe in making people stronger. So we don't focus on the problem. We focus on the person. We can make the person strong. They'll never have a health problem because their body just is perfect. So, you know, we don't mean to scare anybody with these health scores. You know, we don't want you to say, oh my gosh, you know, my blood sugar score is 23. You know, am I going to die? You know, no, you're not going to die. Now, with a score in the 15 to 20 range, the chances of you getting diabetes is super high. Just being flat out with you. I can't tell you for sure that you're going to get it, but you're heading on that river. You know, you're going down that road. And just from doing this for 25 years and seeing a score that high in that category, and diabetes is an epidemic right now. You know, and now category 2, that's soft tissue. That counts as your skin, your heart, your lungs, your mind. Now, if you have a score of category 2, 15 or 20, 25 is ridiculous. When you get that high, it's just screaming at you that you have an EFA deficiency. So you don't have enough essential fatty acids in your body. Your body is like literally drying up because essential fatty acids kind of work as, if you will, lubricant for your body. You know, it keeps our joints moving, keeps our skin looking young, keeps our arteries healthy, keeps our lungs healthy. Our mind runs off of essential fatty acids. So if you go into the other room and you're wondering, why the heck did I go in that room for? You know, we say you got an EFA deficiency is what you got, because you forget things. So that's all that score is telling you. Now, the number one cause of death is a heart attack. And your heart is a category 2 soft tissue. You know, it runs off of EFAs. So are we saying you're gonna have a heart attack because your category 2 score is 20? No. But statistically speaking, yes, you're heading that direction. You know, now it may not show up as a heart attack. It may show up as a stroke in you. It may show up as Alzheimer's. You know, it just depends on the person's body and how that EFA deficiency shows up, because EFAs control hundreds of functions in your body. So it could show up as eczema. People say, well, what does eczema have anything to do with Alzheimer's? Everything. It's the exact same nutrient that controls those two things. And that's what Dr. Walt has taught us. And it's been fascinating to learn all of this, how those two things are even remotely connected, but they are highly connected. So we want to look at each category and see where the score is. And this is where it gets a little complicating, because the score, each category score goes up. So as you score points, it adds them up. So you get 10 points in category 1. Okay? And that's considered bad because you want that to be 0. So we still want the category scores to be 0. As you get the category scores to be 0, that makes your overall health score higher because now there's nothing wrong, and so the health score goes up. And our goal here at Longevity, our mission statement, is to have everybody have a health score of 100. And I know we can do it. I've worked with hundreds, and if not thousands of people over the years that have turned their health around, who scored, you know, in the negatives. I mean, they had a really bad health score. But we cleaned up the diet. We got them on the good food, bad food list. We took the evaluation. We seen which products are best for that person. And let me just jump into the product part, because this is where the system gets ridiculously good. So not only does it tell you which products are best for you to take based on your own scores, but it scores the products for you on a scale from 1 to 100. So some products have a score of 87 for you, let's just say. That means you really need that product. And then other products may score like a 17. Now, would that product help you a little bit? Yeah, you have a little deficiency of that stuff in your body, but not a big deficiency. So if your budget doesn't allow for you to buy that product, don't buy it, because it's not going to have a huge impact on your overall health score. Now, as you move up and you get into the 80s or 90s as a health score, you know, you may need that product now to go buy that, because that's the thing you're missing to go from, you know, 90 to 100.
Yeah.
You know, but we want to know which of these, okay, I need these 5 products, but really which one of them is the most important one? Like, that's hard for us to know. And actually, Roberta, this is a great time for you to ask the question you want to ask.
Thank you. Yes, I wanted to ask the question, how do we overcome the feelings of not being a professional practitioner? You know, that fear or that sort of internal chit-chat that can go on because of a few experiences that we've had as a result of being involved with this great company, and you know, and the feeling, the lack of trust, and the lack of you know, knowledge that we have as professional practitioners. My closest girlfriend said to me, you know, I don't believe in any of that stuff, and you're not a professional. And
Yep.
that was like a knife to my guts.
Sure.
So
Sure.
how do you what's your comeback on that, Paul?
Well, so even after I have 6 years of nutrition study, master's degree, spent all these years with Dr. Walt, I still am not as smart as he is. You know, he's forgotten more than I even know. So that's why we developed the health evaluation system. So there's no way any of us can be experts like Dr. Walt is. And unfortunately, I tried to kidnap Dr. Walt and carry him around with me, but he refused. You know, he's a pretty tough guy, even though he's a little shorter than me, and I'm pretty tough, but he's a little tougher. So so what we had to do is, you know, take his brain and put it in this computer system. And so I tell people, even though I have a lot of knowledge and I have a guesstimate of what you're missing, I'm not 100% sure. So could you please take this health evaluation? So the health evaluation system, the real reason why we spent tens of thousands of dollars building this and literally years of work, was because none of us are health experts like Dr. Wallach is. So the system is the health expert. So all you do is say, hey, if I send you a link to this health evaluation system, would you take the evaluation? So it's if I, would you? Yeah. And they say, yeah, I'll take it. And so you tell them this is Dr. Wallach's brain turned into a computer system. And as you ask the questions, the computer system is so smart. It's the ultimate health coach. It's the ultimate health expert. Because from all the little things that you're answering, it is pinpointing which of the 90 nutrients you are missing the most, and like prioritizing them for you, because you're probably missing more than one of the 90. You know, so you're missing maybe 4 or 5 of the 90. So it's going to tell you in order, in priority order, which one you're missing the most and which nutrient will or product will have the most impact on you and have the best results in helping raise your health score. So that's the answer. You're right. I'm not a health expert. It's the system's a health expert, and that's why I would really want you to take this. Now, I teach courses on all this, and I'm not trying to turn you into Dr. Walt, but what I'm trying to turn people into is an expert in interpreting the health evaluation and understanding what the scores mean, understanding why the products are there, and how the scoring on each product works. That if it's a score of, like I said, 87, that's very high. You really need that product. If the score is, 50 or below, I mean, it's a whole range from 0 to 100. 100 being you need that product today. I mean, and a lot of it, because but so it's a health expert, it's a pinpointer, and really here at Youngevity, or any company, any business for that matter, there's only 3 things that make volume go up. Number 1 is bringing in new members, which the system does. It makes you an instant health expert. And again, to be successful in Youngevity, you have to find a problem and provide a solution. That's all we do here. So there's no system in the world that can find the problems out like the health evaluation system can. And there's no system that can provide the exact correct solutions to the people's problems like the health evaluation system can. Now, Dr. Wallach would argue, well, I'm better than that. And I'm like, well, again, this is very computerized. We took your brain and we took, so it's just as good, if not better than Dr. Wallach, is what I'm trying to say. So it's been the ultimate machine. I would have never made 5-star here at Youngevity if it wasn't for the health evaluation system. I mean, so not only was I able to bring more people in personally, but now all of a sudden my team and the new people I was bringing in were instant health experts. I didn't need to teach them 40 years of nutrition to be a health expert. They just knew to send someone the link and ask them, hey, if I send you this link, would you take the health evaluation? And they said yes, and they took it. And I did teach them how to explain the results to people. So that's what we're kind of doing here on this call. But we can get together again and go further into that. But this was just a call to explain the scoring part was the big thing we wanted to go over this evening or this morning, or whatever time zone you're in. Here in New York, it's our 9 p.m. already here. So
well, we've got this fantastic promotion called 100% better. I am 100% better with Youngevity, and that whole scoring is just so in tune and in line with that. So if you are way up there 90, 100, then you are feeling close to 100% better. But the scoring with 50%, well, do you want to feel 50% better? Do you want to sit at feeling 50% okay, or 30%? I know that I would like to feel 100% better. So it just really, really resonates and fits in. It's like the Shazam of 100% better, and the health evaluation form. It's wonderful, lovely. I so appreciate your time in explaining this to us, Paul. It's a wonderful thing that you have created. Thank you.
Thank you. I hope I did a good enough. I always worry that I didn't do a good enough job explaining. So just to clarify, so if you get 10 points in category 1, we're about to raise a flag. There's a problem there, and then you get 10 points in category 2 also, and then 10 points in category 3 and 10 points in category 4. So now we're like, this isn't just a mistake or a small problem. This is now all of a sudden you look at the whole picture, that's 40 points off. So now you have a score of 60, which we know from being in school is basically failing. I mean, you got a bad grade here. And we want people to, now we can make the test easier. We could change the scoring and make it, so that you felt better about yourself. We have this big argument here in the States. I don't know what's going on in Australia with the education system, but, they want to make all the testing easier for kids. So they do better, and they they feel good about themselves. Listen, that just because the test is easier doesn't mean you're smarter now. You know, we're making them feel good for no reason. Let's instead of making the test easier, how about we make the kids smarter? You know,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you know, educate them. So,
Yeah.
you know, the scoring, I'm with Dr. Walt. I sat down, we have experts sit down, we talked this through, and we really feel that if you got 10 here, 10 here, 10 here, 10 here, or a total of 40 wrong, however you got those 40, that's a big problem. And
Yeah.
it doesn't even matter if we added another 100 questions to the thing, which we're not. But bottom line is, if you took, you know, you put a 3 and then a 4 and another 2 and a 3, I mean, that's enough dots for Dr. Wallach and for all of us experts to say, listen, we're putting up the flag and saying you got a calcium deficiency, you have an EFA deficiency, you got a chromium deficiency or a vanadium deficiency, you know, or you got a digestive system that's jacked up, you know, that you know, and this is the whole GMO conversation of what's that doing to our system. Here in the States, it's gotten so bad, there's not even real wheat anymore, you know. So this GMO, genetically modified food, is really wreaking havoc on our digestive systems, and people are getting sicker and sicker and sicker. Like, I honest to God, when I built this health evaluation system with Dr. Wallach, my number one concern was nobody would score any points ever. We wouldn't have any customers because everyone's going to score 100. And I was so wrong about that. I mean, I cannot believe, and I'm sitting across from someone who looks completely healthy. Like, man, this person's going to get 100 for sure, you know? And they're the ones that they score 10. You know, I'm like, wow, you know, and they're like, this doesn't really make sense to me because I feel healthy. You know, well, you told me you had this pain and that pain, and you said you always are tired after you eat, and you told me this and this and this. Like, this, none of this stuff is normal. You know, not sleeping well is not normal. We were built to sleep well.
Yeah.
So these are all problems, you know, and so we're bringing those problems, you know, in writing and up front to their minds and saying, you know, we got to fix this. And the absolute goal here is to get a score of 100. And we're going to raise the standards. We're going to work with the person. We're going to tweak things. So I had to get off of gluten. I had to really reduce my amount of carbohydrates. I had to start taking glucogenics because my blood pressure, or I'm sorry, my blood sugar score was like in the 40s. So when I took the test, I had like a 43 in blood sugar. I have a really bad blood sugar problem. And I had a really bad digestion problem because I was eating so much gluten. I mean, I was eating pasta like it was going out of style. Like the world was running out of pasta. So I had to eat it as fast as I could. You know, I was 300 pounds. I was 296, and you know, I was tired all the time, and so I got rid of all the gluten. And it took me a while. Like, you know, it wasn't something I did overnight. I had to get, you know, I tell people they're 6 inches away from achieving success or achieving a score of 100 here. But those 6 inches are the 6 inches between your two ears. You got to have the right mindset going into this that, yeah, I'm going to give up gluten because my body is worth it. You know, I'm sick of having these low scores and, you know, feeling this way. So, you know, I got off the gluten. I actually got off dairy. You know, recently I stopped using butter and I went to ghee, and I'm using, you know, dairy-free products. And that's really what took me from like an 80, I think I was like an 84 before. And now I'm like a 98. And that was from giving up dairy. It just didn't agree with me. And I'm not saying that's true for everybody, but you got to see, giving up, because I was eating a lot of cheese. I love cheese. I was putting my heavy cream in my coffee, you know, and my grass-fed butter that I was using, but it just didn't agree with my body, and it was causing health. And I actually had to cut back some of my carbohydrates. You know, I'm following more of like a ketogenic diet now because my body just does not handle carbohydrates well. So between lowering my carbs and taking the glucogenics product and the sweeties and the 90, Now I'm able to get my blood sugar score. I got 2 points off still, but I mean, I went from 43 points all the way down to 2 points by just taking the right products and giving up the right foods.
Yeah,
You can
that's
do it.
fantastic. That's
And
fantastic.
I've gotten people off of insulin. I've gotten, I mean, we're not saying we cure anything here, but I'm just saying you give up those foods that are causing the problem and start putting the nutrients in that you're missing. It's almost like magic happens.
Yeah. May I ask another question, Paul?
Sure, go ahead.
How do you deal with somebody who just says, I just don't believe in nutrition and that everything I know I can get from my food? How do you respond to that?
I love that question. I also love the question people say, oh, I'm already taking nutrients. I'm already with the company. I got all my nutrients from the health store on the corner. I'm all set. I'm like, okay, great. So here's what I would love you to do. Just entertain me. Take the health evaluation. If you're getting all the nutrients you need from food, you should score 100. If you're getting all the nutrients you need from your products you're buying from that company or that health store or whatever, you should have 100 score. They're like, you're right, I should. So they take it, and sure enough, they're the ones that score 30. And then I'm like, well, let's just be adults here and use some common sense. I know that that's a phrase that not many people can wrap their minds around, but common sense would tell you that what you're doing is not working, because your score is so low.
Yep.
It's not me scoring you. It's not some machine I'm hooking up to you or I'm trying to manipulate you in some way. You are checking off these things yourself. You're telling me what's wrong.
Yeah.
You told me that this hurts and this happens and this happens and that happens. Is that all true? Yes, that's true. Well, if your products or your food that you were eating that you thought was so good, would you agree with me that you shouldn't have these problems?
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Can I ask a question, please, Paul?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, when you were talking about when you spoke earlier, and I'll just share a story about one of my friends who filled in the health evaluations system, and one of her 3 health goals was just the most sobering slap in the face for me. She basically said, I don't want to get breast cancer again. And the number 1 product that came up was plant-derived minerals, 100. That was it. So I say I say it all the time, she says, oh, this tastes like shit. I said, well, you get that shit into you. That's the way it is. Okay. But it was really sobering. I guess one of the things also is people who can't afford stuff. And you said to me, you've had great results. It's about that call you do after the health evaluation system report. And then you basically go through it with them and say, hey, listen, let's work out what best suits your budget and where we can get the best results for what you can afford. Is that what you say?
Yeah. So another change we made with the health evaluation system is we kind of made up a protocol for this is optimal. Like if you want the whole Cadillac, everything that your body's missing, this is what you need. This pack and these add-on products. And then if you can't afford that, or they're like, I don't want to do all that. There's just the middle pack, which is the average thing people do is just take all 90, or they just take some one of the products of the 90, like the Beyond Tangy Tangerine, so at least you're getting 85 of the 90. Now, all of us here at Longevity, we know that you have to have all 90 essential nutrients. I tell people all the time that, you can break into any of my bank accounts, any private things that I own, you can break into because my password for everything is 90 for life. I mean, everything, that's my whole belief system. And, when you look at longevity, it's longevity 90 for life. I mean, that's our tagline. So we know that you got to have all 90, but we got to meet people where they are, and maybe they don't want to spend the money on all 90, and spend the 125 or whatever it is that it is for whichever pack that they decide to get. So a lot of times I'll back them up and I'll only put them on the Beyond Tangy Tangerine. Now that's like $65 or whatever it is in Australia, it depends. We have the 2.0, the 1.0. We got some liquid versions. So we got, a bunch of different options for that and price points. But honestly, I started out with Dr. Walt in 1995, and we had one product. It was the liquid minerals. And I've helped more people fix problems on those liquid minerals, to be honest with you, than anything else. Because people are mineral deficient. Now, people might actually be getting some vitamin D from standing in the sun a lot. You got a lot of sun there in Australia, right? So you can, you might be getting enough vitamin D. Or, you might be eating a lot of fish, so you are getting some essential fatty acids. So, or maybe you're eating some chicken or steak or something, or eggs, and you're getting some amino acids. So there's ways of getting these 90, or at least 30 of the 90 you could get if you really worked hard. The big problem is the minerals. The 60 minerals are impossible to get. And we just happen to own the biggest mineral mine in the whole world, where it's, mineral rich. So by taking those minerals in here in the States, it's like $25 a month. I'm not sure what it is for you over there, but basically for an inexpensive amount of money, you could get 60 of the 90 for a low cost, less, like $1 a day. And I put people on that, and they love the taste. Even if they have a bad digestive system, they can still absorb that because of the nanotechnology in the minerals. I mean, think about it. You don't even need to shake the minerals. I mean, they're already suspended in that liquid because of the nanotechnology that we have. And it's 100% absorption rate. Now, any other company out there that you take a mineral, calcium or selenium or whatever mineral you mentioned, it's about an 8 to 10% absorption rate. And here it's right at 100. I mean, it is unbelievable how great our absorption rate is with our products. And that's what makes them, heads and shoulders above anything else in the world.
Yeah.
So just the minerals alone make a huge impact on people. And then they buy into me. They're like, oh my God, Paul might actually know what he's talking about. And they trust me, and I built a relationship with them. So then after a few weeks of that, and they're feeling like, I've had thousands of people say to me, just from one shot, 1 ounce of the minerals, it felt like the light bulb went off in their head, and they cleaned the whole house, and they, did all these things. And they're like, how much caffeine was in that shot? 0. There's one ingredient. It's minerals. That's it. So, but the reason why we're tired is because there's a mineral deficiency. The reason why we're hungry is there's a mineral deficiency. The reason for every problem, as there's that great quote that states, every health problem, every disease can be traced back to a mineral deficiency. So that's so true, so just by giving people the minerals, and when they buy into that for $20 through me, then I show them the Nature Direct cleaning products. I'm like, listen, let's get some of these chemicals out of your house, and start using some all natural skin products and get the toxins out, and use some of these other add-on products. Yeah. And now all of a sudden they go from $20 a month to $200 a month, because they bought into me, they see the progress. So just get people in. That's my number one piece of advice, is to just, I told Jeanette after before the call started that even if you got them on one cleaning product, just so they could experience how wonderful this is, they're going to come back and ask you, what else you got?
Yeah, that happens all the time. And we've done that, what Joanna and I spoke this morning while she was getting her kids ready. And, that's what we've been doing for years, to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Start with getting rid of your toxic products. Joanna, do you want to ask any questions while you've got Paul on the call? She's
Hi, Paul.
Hello.
It was all crazy around the household, so I think I've managed to listen to most of it. It's been fantastic. Thank you so much. It's answered so many questions. Really good. So that, my main question to Jeanette was like, using a standard assumption, you just assume that if you score as a 0, 1, 2, then you're sort of going to come out at, pretty good. And then, if you're scoring really high, then you're going to obviously, then you're going to be up there. So it's really good, like how you explained it, because as long as we know that, then we can, we can share that. I feel like I can do a lot with the information you've shared. And I was gluten-free for 3 months at the start of the year, and I did feel a hell of a lot better. And, you just get into those bad habits again. and yeah, so it's good to know that, you know, if you scored low but high, like you said, across all categories, well, then you know you're in the shit, really.
Yeah.
You know, you've got some work. You've got some work to do. But my assumption from that then is that, you know, cleaning up, like getting off the gluten, then, you know, you're able to probably reduce a lot of those little scores. Not easily, but, you know, it's
easily.
It's not like you've got a massive long-term issue that you need to sort.
Your score will double. I mean, if you're at a 20, it'll add 50 points to your score like that just from going gluten-free.
Wow.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Like, so for so many people, we can really help them clean up a lot quite quickly.
Yeah. So one of the products that is really, now it doesn't always show up as a super high digestion score. But when you see the 4 categories all high, you know it's digestion, you know, and that's what Dr. Walt teaches us. One of the best products, like a heaven sent product for longevity, is this product called I-26.
I love it.
Yeah.
Now, probiotics add good bacteria to your digestive system. So the root beer belly is amazing. The nightly essence. I take 2 nightly essence before I go to bed every night. And it just, I load my body with good flora, good bacteria. It's really a war in your body versus good guys versus bad guys. If you put a lot of good guys in your body, a lot of good bacteria, it's going to kill the bad bacteria. The problem is, though, if you're eating gluten, that's producing more and more bad bacteria. If you're eating sugar, it's producing more and more bacteria. So you got a lot of bad guys in your body, and you got a lot of good guys, and sometimes they just cancel each other out, and you don't get any further ahead. So once you cut the gluten out and the sugar out, the bad guys, and put a lot of probiotics in, the bad guys kind of go away, but we're trying to find a way to make the bad guys go away faster. And I-26 kills, it doesn't raise the good guys at all, but it kills the bad guys fast. So it's the best cleaner for your, you know, if you've been eating a lot of gluten and you suspect I have a bad digestive system, that there's no product in the world that fixes it as good as that product does.
Wow. What about this one here, Paul? That one there, nightly essence.
Yeah, nightly essence.
Do you have that enzyme? I get that to Gary at night, one of those at night before he goes to bed.
That's enzymes you're holding? I can't see it.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Paul was just talking about that. He takes 2 every night before he goes to bed. He happened to mention that when you left the room just then.
Of the essential, I'm sorry, of the nightly essence, but she was holding up the enzymes. So now people that have problems, some people will take Beyond Tangy Tangerine or the calcium and report that I don't feel well. I actually feel worse when I take it. So what's happening is their digestive system is not good. So it's not utilizing the nutrients. And their enzymes are really bad because they've been enzyme deficient for a long time. So a lot of times by just taking one enzyme with the Beyond Tangy Tangerine or with the OsteoFX, all that problem goes away because now they have the enzymes to process the nutrients. And over time, you'll produce more enzymes naturally. So enzymes aren't a 90 essential nutrient. So once the 90 kicks in and your body gets healthier, it produces its own enzymes. So you shouldn't actually ever need to take enzymes if your body is running properly. But in the meantime, between now and when that actually happens, taking the enzymes will make your body work better.
Yeah.
So this is the ultimate enzymes, Paul?
Yes.
Yeah. Right. And so with those, if someone does the digestive pack, that's what I was thinking, was that the digestive pack, like the enzymes, is like more like a short-term assist. Is that right?
Yep. Same thing with glucogel. I mean, I'd take 8 glucogel a day just so I can keep my arteries and my joints healthy and everything. But really, if you're taking enough calcium, you should never really need glucogel, because the problem's never going to happen that you're not robbing any calcium from your joints because you're taking enough in. So you shouldn't need glucogel. You shouldn't need enzymes. You shouldn't Now, probiotics are different. You're always going to need to get good bacteria in your body. So if there was a 91st nutrient, it would be probiotics, root beer belly or nightly essence.
Yeah, yeah. Fantastic, fantastic.
Oh, wow.
Now, I'm going to have to excuse myself because I need to keep moving for another appointment. So,
I do too. It was so great to be on this. I'll do this anytime you want. I'm sure that this recording is going to cause more questions. So if we could post those, I'm gonna post this. You guys post it. You get more questions, I'll come back on here and answer all of them.
We've got a great team, and I think this was organised at really short notice, Joanna. So I know that there's
it's fabulous.
So many people that are going to want to get on this call. So I might organise that for our team here, and then that way we can really promote the life out. And I know, Joanna, you'll do the best job of that. I mean, we've got a guy on the phone who's got a master's in nutrition and a master's in exercise physiology. So he knows his stuff, and thank you so much for joining us, Paul. I can't tell you how much we appreciate it.
No problem at all. I will post this on YouTube and send you the link. You can send it out to the team and get the message around.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Paul.
Anytime you have questions, let me know. I'm here for you. Here to help.
Okay. Hey, we'll see you next week. We're going to be there's 6 of us coming over, so we'll see you in San Diego.
Oh, I can't wait. I'm gonna give you a big hug.
Okay.
I won't be able to make it, but thank you so much, Paul.
Thank you.
Bye now.
Yes.
Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye bye.
See you, Roberta. See you.